Hey, how you doing? Tony Wasinski, official editor of the podcast. Here he is, my nephew David and Frankie Bergasetti. They came into the studio together today on a bicycle built for two. It's beautiful weather. David, how are you, my friend?
Yeah, I'm good. Was just hanging out down at McGuane Park down on the south side. Took the dog for a run over there, then got busted for a dog at large ticket because it wasn't a dog park. It was just a normal park.
Frankie, it's good to see you. How was the bike ride with this hooligan?
Good to see you, too. He was good. He needed a couple water refills, but nothing out of the ordinary. He had a couple Miller Lights to it, a couple stops. It was beautiful.
Mm-hmm. That's a beautiful thing about Miller Lite. You can enjoy it on the go. In certain responsible manners, you can enjoy it at home. Barbecue, it's that time of year. Weather gets a little chilly. You want to hang out with family, maybe do some recreational activities. David, I know it's your preferred option.
Yeah, Miller Lite's just the best beer there is. I haven't been around since the mid-'70s when Miller Lite first started getting brewed in the great Midwest, but I love it nonetheless. It's been with me ever since I could legally consume alcohol when I was 21 years old.
No strict dress code required. That's the best part. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/redline to find the delivery options near you. Or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere that they sell beer. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
Hey, how you doing? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Chicago sports fans. This is Barstool Carl.
And White Sox Dave.
Chief.
Why y'all so?
This is Redline Radio, All Gas, No Break, Chicago Sports Podcast, brought to you by Miller Lite, brought to you by Barstool Sports Chicago. Well, I'm all sullen. You didn't say anything. You leave me. You have progressively left me hanging out more and more to try on these intros.
That's not
Anybody
true.
that's listened to us since
That's
day
not
one
true.
know that used to be like and White Sox date. Remember we used to joke about that, Ed?
I feel like he's been distracted lately.
I'm not
He's in the
distracted
message
at
boards
all.
right now.
I got off the message boards. The message boards are done. No message boards right now. I am
Chief, do you have a
battling-
comment on his professionalism as he is on a message board as we begin this?
He's doing research.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, exactly what I'm doing.
What would you do without Chief?
I have
Dave?
a personal note
Seriously.
I would like to make.
Make it.
I cooked a beef brisket last night, and I'm feeling the effects today. Let's say that. So that's why I'm not in the most chipper mood. But I am fine.
What effects would those be? You got poo-poo pants?
Not pants, just poo-poo.
Okay.
So
We'll
leave it at that. We'll leave it at that.
Liquid.
We got dude wipes today because dude wipes saved my life.
No, but we do have
I know
Revitalyte, which has a lot of electrolytes
I have been
in
You
there.
know what?
Pounding
Just take
Revitalyte.
it off the top. Let's talk Revitalyte for a second.
All right, yeah. Revitalyte's great. We have the special Black Label with our Barstool logo on there. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm holding it up right now. I'm actually drinking it. It's delicious. It's Berry Blast. The trick with this, for all you youngsters out there, you might have a Black Wednesday coming up. What you gonna want if you're gonna be out? You want to drink half at night, half the next morning. You'll be feeling great. You'll be ready to go. You'll be ready to show up at Thanksgiving, fully hydrated, recovered, ready to go, ready to start the weekend. So I love Revitalyte. Tastes great. Gets the job done. They have it right here. Rehydrate, recover, repeat. That's what you guys should be doing too. The little half and half trick, night and morning, works great. We love Revitalyte. You guys should be doing it too. And where can they get it, Carl?
You can get it anywhere where Revitalyte's on store shelves, locally convenience stores. Hey, also online at the Barstool Sports
There you go.
store.com. I don't know if there's a / Revitalyte. It's very easy to find, though,
Yep.
if you ask your computer.
And Dave will be drinking some to replenish his electrolytes.
Exactly,
because
'cause
they're all leaving through his anus.
I mean, you're a foul boy.
Anus is up there with cunt.
Anus is one of the most disgusting words there is.
I agree.
Rectum is bad.
Rectum's very bad. Scrotum's a bad one.
Rectum
we
doesn't
talked-
bother me. Rectum sounds like a medical term. It doesn't bother me as much.
But they all sound bad. We were talking about this last week.
Yeah.
All right.
Pick up your Revitalyte Black Label today in the
Just
store or online
nip
at the
that in the
Barstool
bud.
Store and tweet at us or tag at Drink Revitalyte in your morning after stories.
Pay for the ad read. Stay for the anus talk. Dave was not up because of brisket. He lies.
That's part of the reason.
No, Dave started, ready for this? Dave started a Band of Brothers rewatch last night at 11:30 p.m.
Crazy.
Well, I had started it. It was 3 nights ago. I got through a couple episodes apiece, 2 nights prior, and then last night I was on the 5th episode. right before they're about to siege Bastogne. And that is when I started last night, and I finished the rest of it would be 6 total episodes.
I would say that if you said you were trying to fall asleep watching it, the Bastogne episode
You can't.
might be the worst possible hour of television to try to fall asleep to in the history of television.
Yes.
And
But
it's-
I mean,
it's-
what was I supposed
it's
to do?
literally
Skip it?
like
You can't
it's
skip
like our
it.
soldiers just getting bombed by the Germans in this
I gotta
winter
watch it.
forest.
Oh, Ed, it
trees
is.
exploding, like it's
They're watching
like
all their
horrifying.
buddies explode from artillery shells just in front of their faces.
So wait, what time did you say you went to bed?
Well, I crawled into the couch under the covers like 11:30, and then next thing you know, it's 4:30, and I'm finishing the series.
and we won
4:30.
and
Yeah.
we won the war.
And we did win the war. Spoiler alert: we did win World War II.
Fuck you, Hitler.
The end of, well, I mean the end of the war, but they kind of start talking about it a little bit how they're about to raid the Eagle's Nest in the last episode, which was the Eagle's Nest was their not code name, but it was their nickname for. It wasn't really a fortress, but it was like a gifted house from the SS to Adolf Hitler.
Had gold-plated elevators.
Gold-plated elevators, just as unbelievable plate.
Can I tell you something?
How many shafts?
I've been there.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I think it was 2011 or 12.
This is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Did
weird saying I wish I could go to Hitler's house, but
well, we went all the way through.
It's true.
We went to.
I would love.
Went to Munich, Salzburg.
It was right outside Salzburg. Yeah.
All those, other little places in Bavaria.
But they're all talking about how, so the French had a shot at killing Hitler or ending the war in Berlin,
Yep.
and then the Russians did it, and then the Americans did it. It sounds like we kind of just let them have it, which kind of pisses me off. I wanted that.
I don't
No.
think anyone actually killed Hitler.
Well,
and
we
I
all-
don't think he killed himself either. I think he remained in South America.
That body double was not him.
See
It
how
was a
quickly
woman.
This, do you
It was
see
a
how
woman.
quickly this goes?
It was a woman.
I know. I mean, even in the actual footage of there's a video, a real actual video, not in the documentary or in the miniseries or anything, where they're saying here's Hitler's body. It's in World War II in color and stuff, and you look at him and you're like, that is not Adolf Hitler.
We spent millions of dollars through the 50s and 60s investigating where Hitler would be. The public record says he was dead. Why did Hoover spend all that money, the FBI, CIA, trying to find out where Hitler was in South America?
I mean, they say he's in Russia, but I know the popular conspiracy theories, if they are conspiracies, but nonetheless, it kind of rubbed me the
Good
wrong way.
brisket?
It was all right brisket. First time brisket's tough, but it just pissed me off that
You've never done it before?
Not in an oven. No, I've always smoked.
It's
it.
tough in an oven.
Yeah, I had the juice, tenderness wise, temperature, all that stuff. Great. I overseasoned it.
Did you load it up with anything?
Overseasoned it, Ed.
Yeah. Did you load it up with jardinera or something?
I used a little jarnera to cook
Yeah,
it, but
okay.
just the oil to give it a little heat. But
I don't think anybody's going to talk about how aggressive a Tuesday brisket is.
Well, it's coming from 7:30 a.m. burger guy. That's
Yeah,
tough.
it's
that
true.
is true.
Okay.
That's tough. To
But
say.
There's
this is
Bubba
why.
burgers in the buns were going bad.
So I was at my local butcher shop, which I shop at 3 times a week, and they had a 2.5 pound brisket. They're like, and I go there so often, we know each other at this point, and they're like, hey, we got this. You can have it. You come in here all the time. So it was a 2.5 pound brisket. It wasn't big at all. By the time I cooked it, I ate the whole thing in one sitting. It was like a pound. And so they just gave it to me, but I didn't want it to go bad because we're going out of town for the weekend. So that's why I did it. But it would be an aggressive move typically on a Tuesday. I agree.
Did you invite any girls over to enjoy your
I
brisket?
did not.
Because I think that's a funny, what are you doing on a Tuesday night? I'm so far away. I was thinking about this. I'm coming up on, I think it's 6.5 years now where I haven't texted a girl. I haven't tried to hit on anybody. But I love the idea of a Monday afternoon.
No,
hey, will you have plans tomorrow night?
I'm gonna
I'm
watch
smoking
4
a-
hours of Band of Brothers and eat a brisket. Come on over, babe.
I mean, you guys are gonna say no to this, but I swear to God, if a girl was like, "Hey, I want to come bang you right now," I'd been like, "No."
I believe you.
I got 3 chi, I got this brisket, I got the dog, and I got a Band of Brothers marathon to finish.
And the shit.
I don't think it's talked
no,
about
thank you.
enough.
Well, I didn't have
What?
Winter,
the shits yet.
Winter post White Sox season, Dave, is it's not talked about enough. It really is a different faction of you. Especially if the game started yet. If you bought the new, what is it?
Call of Duty. Yeah, I bought it.
Like, this is gonna be.
That's a good call.
It really is. It's.
I mean, last year
I
I would be up till like fucking 3 a.m. every single night streaming with Smitty. I haven't streamed with him in forever.
Are you
but
tired today?
I'm fine. I let the dog out at like 8, maybe a little earlier than that, and then I went back to sleep for an hour. I slept till almost 9 today, which is like unheard of for me.
I've never thought of it that way, but yeah, he is. You do turn. You're like a
hermit.
Yeah,
I'm hibernating.
you're hibernating.
It's my off season. Yeah.
You are a seasonal beast. I don't think I know he wants to move to Arizona permanently, but he wouldn't know what to do. And like, no, you're right. Like, it'd be mid-November, and he'd be like, "Well, the weather's nice. I'm still outside."
He
Like,
pokes
why
his
am I
head
gonna
out like
do
that hedgehog to like see what Jeff Passan is tweeting, and then right back down into his into his little burrow.
That's true. Yeah. Like a little, like Punxsutawney Phil.
Yeah, exactly.
That little fucking rodent.
I hate
vermin.
Punxsutawney
He's
Phil.
a bitch. Fuck him.
Sidebar, please subscribe to our YouTube page. Watching these is significantly funnier than listening to it. So I've just realized this, and we don't plug our YouTube page enough. So to the people that are watching this, thank you. If you're listening, do us a favor. Just go click the link, subscribe, help the numbers out.
Still listen though.
Yeah, but I'm not saying don't listen.
Yeah.
What did I mean there?
Right. You said what you said.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? That sounded a little bit
I said what I said.
there was hostility. in
No,
your
like
tone.
I don't think you said anything wrong, but you just said it's funnier if you listen. But it's like, well, you still, if you watch. Sorry, you said.
Yeah. It's like, hey, you said what you said. That's so good.
Ed's been a grumpy little.
No, don't do that.
cocksucker
No, he is
lately.
not.
I'm joking, Ed.
No, he's not. You're the
Have I been?
cocksucker, Dave.
I'm not a cocksucker. I just wish that that Patton wouldn't have bowed down to those French assholes, and the Russians, and we would have fucking overtaken Berlin.
You know what, Ed?
Russians.
Let's do Patton for next Tuesday.
Oh,
Okay.
I would love
Yeah,
that.
but just don't do all the negative stuff. You
Don't
know,
tell
sla-
me what to do with our Patton podcast because
Why is there a
there's
lot of negative stuff?
there's some negative stuff. There's some
Here we go.
I
conspiracy
mean, go
stuff.
go.
I
Ed,
love Patton. One
Ed,
of my
go look
all-time-
up the bombing
Here
of
we go.
Dresden and Hamburg. You know about the bombing of Dresden and Hamburg?
Fine.
No.
Ed killed a bunch of civilians. Lots of them.
We were like, fuck this war at this point, and we just started bombing the fuck out of civilian cities.
After
And
me,
after they
Fire
had spent a year bombing London indiscriminately.
yeah, well, true.
So,
It was an eye for an eye, but it was like against like American war ethics and morals.
Well,
and we just fucking
war-
50,000 people dead
war
like
is
that.
war is hell.
Just blanket bombing them,
War is
into
hell.
oblivion.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
We could turn this into a World War II podcast. I'll talk.
You
about
know
it
what?
all
That was our
fucking day.
niche category for. I thought that was our niche category for.
That's what I thought too.
dozen trivia. Like we were texting before, like, hey, make sure you know the beaches.
Mm-hmm.
Canadians were on Utah, and then we got there. The N64.
Canadians were on Juneau, I believe.
They were.
I watched your match. It hurt me that you guys had to burn a phone a friend on that seal.
It's
It
so
hurt me.
okay.
I was
it's-
like, oh my god.
it's so much.
And I know
harder.
it's different when you're on the ground.
Yeah.
You
I've been in
see the
I've been in
lyrics
the-
and you don't have any like melody or beat to.
Did you know right away?
right away. Right away.
How many of the other questions do you know right away?
I knew Andy and Wright for
I would have
USC.
known Ryan Mallett right away.
I knew Ryan Mallett right away.
Same.
Did you know Zach Robinson?
I did not.
Yeah.
I
did
would.
not know
Once they said it, I knew it.
I'll admit, even once they said it, I was like, I don't really remember that guy.
I remember him.
Yeah. But we smoked him.
Did you know?
Credit to us.
Did you know the last cat, like the kickers, the overtimes? Nugent's.
Oh, I did know that.
How
I-
long
I
is
knew.
Nugent? But I feel like Nugent kicked at Ohio State in 03 or like 05.
So he missed a
Yeah.
field goal against Northwestern when they were ranked 6th in the country. Northwestern, I want to say at the time, was 1-3. I was at the game, and Northwestern beat them. And Santonio Holmes dropped a wide open touchdown pass that would have won it.
I got to take.
Huh.
Dave's telling the story. How long ago was that? 15 years
That was
ago?
04.
Okay. Being ranked 6th back then just hit so much different
It was
now.
so much fucking
like,
better.
I feel like the rankings just mean nothing now.
For sure. I'd agree with that.
Like back then, it was like, yo, they're fucking 8th. It's like, oh, they're 8th. They're coming to town. Now I don't get into the rankings anymore.
It means a lot to people like Iowa. Like when they were 2, it was
Fuck
a big
yeah.
deal.
Yeah.
It was a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm not talking
saw
about
that
2. I'm not
foreshadows.
talking about the top of the rankings. I'm talking about the meat and potatoes of college football rankings. I feel like it just hits different now. Maybe it's because I'm older, but like being in college is like, oh, did you hear Penn State moved up to 14th this week?
I wonder if that is because back, it's like everybody was competing for the same 4 bowls, and now, like, because if you're 11, you still like you're probably in the Rose Bowl, and that I think the Rose Bowl specifically meant more pre-playoffs.
Thank you.
And I think that is a thing. But now, like, if you're ranked 6th now, I think that's a way bigger deal than being ranked 6th before.
Okay,
6th, like you're
then
like
you have the
you're
CFP knock
right.
on
So
the
you have the
door.
top 4, and then they have the 5, 6, or like the ones that are like right below it jockeying. So I think the top 6 really matters. But I do see your point about that. 11th, like 11th is like, whoo, fuck.
I feel like we're sitting at the kids' table though. We're just like waiting to like be grown-ups with this college football playoff stuff. Here we go. Let's like we even talking pre-show. Like, yeah, look. So Notre Dame is knocking on the door, or could be in the mix.
I mean, they're solidly in the mix.
But my point, is that this is the same conversation every fucking year around the CFP. It's slightly different because there's more losses, but just like, when is it going to get bigger? And that's what I mean with the kids' table. Like, when is it just going to get bigger? When are we going to have 8 teams? Or when do we have more teams? And it's like
Yeah, I think the right number of teams, and no one agrees with me, is 6. I think that's the perfect number where it's still special, and like the regular season still really matters, but it allows for like 2 SEC teams, an at-large team, maybe a group of 5 team in like Cincinnati in a weird year that they would just be solidly in, and I think like they deserve it. But yeah, I don't know. Like you want 8, 12, 16 teams?
until I see, because people's big nerve is like, oh, well, if you put Alabama 1 versus 16, they actually think it's like college basketball 1 versus 16. So I don't know until that plays out. I remember when Utah beat Alabama, and Utah was half the size of Alabama, and they just went out there and threw the ball. Brian Johnson was the quarterback for Utah. I think it was like 2009 or something. And that was like a crazy moment to see a small, completely uncompetitive team physically just dominate Alabama.
They had an awesome defense.
So I just hang on to that when people are like, oh, they would just get crushed. It's like, I don't know, if you've never seen something.
Yeah, but I think Alabama, like, they have this thing where if they're not in the national championship or in the playoff, they go to the bowl game. They just kind of like roll it out there. Yeah,
Okay, that's
like
fair.
so. I think if Alabama played Utah with the national championship on the line, they'd probably beat that Utah team by 50.
I just think it's probably better storylines for so many more programs if you expand it, where it's like,
That's
how
true.
many better speeches are there?
gonna
How many more
fix-
like
I don't
workouts?
understand, like,
let's do it today. We're gonna be the fucking 11th team in there. Like, not right now. There's just such a gap.
Yeah,
It's 2 different sports.
I don't know. Like, my whole thing is like, all right, so say you're Northwestern. Say you're Northwestern, you're ranked 21st in the country. You go to the Outback Bowl. You're waiting a month to 6 weeks from the last game of the season to play that bowl game. Why not just fucking have 32 teams? That's 32, 16, 8, 4, 2. That's 6 extra weeks.
This
There
is
it is
pump,
right
pass,
there.
and kick all over.
No,
Let's
it's,
get called
what are you
charity-
talking
I'm
about?
joking.
I mean, I don't even know why you bring that up, but like, that's 6 extra weeks. You have games every fucking week throughout the month of December, and
There
you
would
go.
be far too many teams who don't deserve to be in. if
Like,
there's 32.
What do you mean deserve to be in?
But it's just that's
32 is just
That's
like
just there's so many teams. that are
32.
just-
You might get like a team that's 7-5. Like, what's
So what?
why do you want to see that? Like then
I
then
mean,
like the regular
more football is better than no football.
But I don't know. I don't agree with that. I think there's something about if you lose, and college football is so cool. Like if you lose a game or 2 games, like every game matters. If you can go 7-5 and make the playoffs, then why does anyone care about what a result in October? You
I
know?
mean, it's more football. That's why.
But
I'm
you
talking
get
about
diminishing returns where like you devalue and dilute the importance of the games. That
So
you
why
already have.
should a 17-12 Big Ten basketball team that finished 9th in the conference get a shot? They go on runs. That there's 64 teams.
It's a lot different.
I know
sport,
it's different.
though.
You can play every couple
I mean,
days.
7-5, you'd have to cut down the regular season if you did that, right? Like there wouldn't be. You can't have these kids
10 game
play
season.
that many games.
But
That's
maybe they
crazy.
should
Yeah.
cut that. Well,
But even the way it is right now,
10
like if
games.
you go to the let's see, call it the SEC or one of these teams that have a conference championship game, that's game number 13, right? So you have 12 games, 13, 14, 15 games to win the national championship. 15-0, basically. 15 games to win the national championship. That's a lot of games. That's almost an NFL
It's
season.
a ton.
Yeah.
It's a ton. I think, too, it's time. It's been time as well. Like, this even goes back before there was a playoff. It's just wild that Notre Dame fans have been kind of half-heartedly watching their team for 6 weeks now. Because and that's just the way it is. If you lose once, you just kind of lose interest because you don't really have a chance anymore. And
that's a good call.
that's kind of a problem, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of a problem. Like, there should be, if you expand the playoff, then you could get, there's.
I think that's a slam dunk.
I mean, that's the
for-
baseball wild card argument for sure, But
Yeah.
I do, I don't know. I love the regular season of college football. Like
But I'm not even saying like huge. Like I'd be 6, 8. Like
I think the
fine.
most that I would want to see is 8. I think that's the most I would want to see. I think 6 is the sweet spot.
And I think 8. And he said 32. 8 is like,
I said
That's
32
like
because
the
that's what
peak
the other
of-
divisions do.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
1AA, whatever it's called now, through Division
8
3,
is like
it's
the
32.
peak of what's like. All right,
the cream of the crop.
is there really 8? I think 8's even might be pushing it.
I think 8 is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what's the okay?
But
so
you're
then what's
just
the
kowtowing to
cost of
Bama then,
saying
and, like,
we're gonna
it's
have
typical-
8 teams?
I can't tell who I'm listening to.
Well, I'm saying that all your like what I think you're getting at is that all you care about is like the Bamas, the Georgias every couple of years, the Clemsons. Like, you're saying that the 8th team, like, of course they can't compete with those programs. Of course not.
Yeah.
So why bow down to the handful of programs that are going to be in the race for the national championship every single year?
I don't think that. See, like that's why, there is an element of me that doesn't even really love. Like, I'm glad there's a playoff. But there is a small part of me that's like, that agrees with you, and I feel like before there was a playoff, that's what, to Carl's point, where like being ranked 11 like mattered more.
Yeah, a lot.
Right.
Right.
But I don't think expanding to 32 then I just think it's all.
The reason I
gone.
use that number again was because that's what all the other divisions use. It's
Okay.
32 team playoff.
Yeah. I personally think that would devalue. Like, I'd rather see a Northwestern Wisconsin game where they're like jockeying for a position to go to the Big Ten championship than be like, well, they're both going to be in, so who gives a fuck?
I mean, we went to that Northwestern Notre Dame game a few years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and Northwestern they clinched a Big Ten West the week before, and they just completely mailed it in against. Like, they all told me this. Players on the team were like, once we clinched, like, we didn't care about Notre Dame.
Bigger sport, bigger
So, I mean,
moments,
if
more
if
opportunities. Like
there
the
was
reason
more to play
Andy,
for.
Randy, what's his name? How do you say it?
Rosarina.
Bro, legendary, right? More
Yeah.
opportunities for people to have legendary moments in sports.
For sure.
I agree, but Chief's like, I get what Chief's saying, like the nostalgic factor of like, a long season and the grind. But if you're like a moneymaker, you're like involved in the sport and the business, you're like, yeah, well, fucking give me some more teams here.
But what sucks is you still don't eliminate a big controversy. You have to frame it as a way where you're going to do the Power 5 and then 3 wild card. Like, how are you going to do it? Because the Cincinnati conversation still never goes away, no matter how much you expand it.
But I know, like, the Cincinnati, and like, I think Cincinnati, because UCF, when they went undefeated, they didn't have like a win against a top 10 team. Like, Notre Dame's going to be 11-1. They're going to be a top 10 team. It's like, what else do you want? And they're going to, if they beat Houston's another top 25 team. What do you want them? What else could they possibly do? Like, if Cincinnati doesn't get in this year, that's really fucked up.
Right, exactly.
To me. And
And do you think it's going to happen? You do?
Yeah.
You think they're going to get left out for sure?
I mean, I'm not saying like he said, do I think?
Yeah.
I don't know if I think for sure is a.
All right.
But I'm saying like I'm saying it's more likely than not.
Yeah.
That Cincinnati gets left out.
I think I think the way it plays out, if Oregon wins out and Ohio State wins out, and then like there's a chance, like, and Bama beats Georgia, then those are the 4 teams.
Mm-hmm.
But if Georgia beats Bama, then Bama's out. And if Oregon, I think Oregon's probably going to lose. They have to beat Utah twice inside of 3 weeks.
Utah and Oregon State are the last 2 games.
But then the Pac-12 championship will
Utah
be against
again.
Utah again. I think that's that's not nothing. I think the first one is this weekend. It's in Utah, which is a tough place to play. I could see Oregon dropping one of those 2 games, and then they're out. Ohio State eliminates Michigan and Michigan State the next 2 weeks by beating them, or one of those 2 teams beats them, and they're fucking eliminated.
They could cannibalize. The Big Ten could really cannibalize
They could.
itself.
Yeah, they could. And then it's
Be
Notre
interesting.
Dame versus Cincinnati, and for that last spot theoretically. And I just don't like, as much as I love Notre Dame, they played head-to-head in Notre Dame Stadium, and they lost. So I do think Notre Dame's better than they were back then. I haven't kept up with Cincinnati other than box scores, but Cincinnati deserves to be in over them. Like, I don't know if Cincinnati can't get in with a top 10 win on the
Undefeated
road
record
against a team that went 11-1, like, what are we talking about? Like, they have to be in. They have to be in. And I don't think Cincinnati's that good, but like, they did everything that they could, and they have to be in.
I'd agree, but I don't think they're going to get in either.
Do you think Notre Dame would jump them? If they win, let's say they win these next 2 games by 3 scores.
I think
Georgia
so.
Tech and Stanford.
I think so.
That is wrong. That is wrong.
It is wrong, but I think they would.
I think I'd
they're
like to
Notre Dame brand recognition.
That's
All right.
fucked up.
Isn't that the metaphor of life, though? Sometimes you can't do all you could, but it doesn't mean it's going to work out.
Well, as the Barada Gang member, I have to say that Notre Dame should not get in under that scenario that we just laid out.
I don't disagree with you,
Yeah.
to be clear. But
Yeah.
Something to keep an eye on, though.
Yeah.
Is the
Yep.
hey, college football news. Illinois trap game, Iowa. Brett Bielema has COVID, and I was very high on an Illinois upset this weekend, and now it's not so clear. And there's your Illinois football news.
Northwestern plays at
Wait, what?
Wrigley Field this weekend
Against Purdue,
against Purdue.
our friend of the program, Jeff Brown.
I just found out that my season ticket package does not include that game, and I was not happy about it, but no big deal. We
Bigger
were gonna
friend of the
be
program,
hoping-
Fitz or Brom?
It's kind of a what have you done for me lately situation.
It is. I mean, I don't want Fitz on right now because I would just have to grill him about why his team fucking stinks.
They did kind of roll out the red carpet for us, though. I do appreciate
Yeah, they
that.
did.
It was nice to put on some pads.
They let us put on pads, and we didn't sign a liability waiver, and we were
could
out
have
there.
sued them. I was sore for days.
I could not move. I remember texting Ed the next morning. How many?
my
okay,
back was shot.
shot,
Shot, dude.
shot.
We did like maybe 7
I was gonna say
one-on-ones.
10.
Maybe
Yeah.
7, I think.
Chief and I did a few more than you did. I
Yes.
think.
Yeah, but like
and I was so sore.
I think I only did 3 against JB Butler.
The most sore I've been in my entire life, and I'm not
Sore.
kidding when I say this, is after I did the spider tag thing. I could not move for fucking a week straight. Like, I couldn't turn my neck, my back. The most physical activity I've done in the last couple of years were both at Northwestern for stupid fucking videos.
Yeah, it's tough. I think I said this on the show the other day, but I played this game called paddle, which is basically tennis on like a outdoor smaller court, and like it's like you're kind of like basketball movements, right? Because it's
Yeah.
small, like you're cutting and it's like 48 hours. Like I didn't feel right until Tuesday morning. It's tough.
What I was going to say, you bring up Bielema being out. If we could shift it over to the Bears, if that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of. I think the AFC North that's right. Yeah, AFC North is like the biggest house of cards. And I honestly think like the Bears being plus 195 is great value. But the kicker, the caveat, is I don't think we had a coach who like would have prepared these guys through the bye week. Like, would you guys agree?
I
Like,
agree that there's big value Bears here. This is a game the Bears
Yeah.
win. This seems like a game that's like, all right, 4-6. Just throw all our emotions out the door. So yeah, I do like the Bears.
Isn't
Weekend,
Nagy
actually.
like 0-4 off a bye?
yeah, horrible. That fuck. I'll
To
never,
your point, yeah.
I'll never forget that Dolphins game with Brock Osweiler.
Oh, my God, was that bad? Where
Ugh.
they kept missing field
In
goals?
the
That was
18
fucking
the
parky.
18
yeah.
year.
Yeah.
Yes. The 18 year.
Didn't that make him like 3-3 or something like that? Or
Well,
4?
we lost to the Packers.
Yeah.
We lost to the Packers. We lost to the Giants, and then we lost to the Patriots. So yes, that was
right.
that was our third loss, and I think we only lost to the Giants, and that was the Chase Daniel game.
right.
That was
Yep. That was
end
the
of the
other
year.
loss. Yeah.
But yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
So
So we're just like, fuck this season.
I know,
Yeah.
and isn't that kind of an indictment though? Like it's just like that's what's holding us back.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I'd say. And it's like, like the only other time you see that stat is like from the great coaches. It's like, oh, Saban off a bye, Belichick off a bye. Like these guys who like really get their teams ready to go. And it's like, Nick, like you give Matt Nagy more time and he just thinks up more crazy shit and it just throws the whole thing off the rails.
Yeah.
Like,
So-
they'll come up with a T formation probably to open the game.
So
next week.
basically, what you're saying is, next week when the Bears play Sunday and then right back again on Thursday, that's probably
I love the
best
Bears on Thanksgiving.
Love the Bears.
Already love the Bears on Thanksgiving.
Just don't think shoot.
Well, it also has a little bit to do with the opponent, but
I mean, I was really, really, really hoping that the Lions beat the Steelers this week
Ed,
because we all know what's
What?
coming, right?
I love you.
Why?
Because I'm coming in here and saying you like the Bear, you like the value.
I do just don't, and that's like the AFC North. I just can't.
that division stinks.
I know, and we've played every team at this point besides the Ravens, and obviously we got our fucking clocks clean against the Browns. We beat the Bengals, which
Who looked good for a minute.
they
Steelers,
looked
they
good, but
should've
when we
won.
played them, I was like so unimpressed with
Yep.
them. And then we saw the Steelers last week. I don't know.
I don't know. Jackson's
just-
probably going to
I
run
just-
for 200 and
especially what's been happening with the NFL. Like all these dogs are coming to play.
Yeah.
It seems like a really good spot, but I can't say with like
Conviction.
a conviction and a whole heart because I don't think that Nagy like had these guys where hey we got a week off guys but let's stay sharp, let's stay with it, we're 3-6, let's just let's keep the task at hand. I think these guys haven't thought about shit
Yeah.
because he's just not a guy who's just
I
gonna
think
keep
they
them in check
I
like
think they
that.
probably showed up for practice on Wednesday or whenever their first day back was and be like, "Oh, we're playing the Ravens this week."
yeah
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like who we play? Oh, yeah, Ravens.
probably
Yeah.
So needless to say I'm gonna be very interested to see how
Yeah.
the rest of this how this game goes.
I'm excited. I'm looking forward to see how Soldier Field is because it's the first cold game at Soldier Field. They haven't played there in 3 weeks. Like, a lot of people in this town are very pumped about the Bulls, and like is it going to be a boo fest for Nagy? Are people going to be going nuts for Justin Fields because he lit it up on Monday night last time out? So, what would your demeanor be walking into Soldier Field Sunday noon?
I think if you're going Sunday, I think you're going with the intention of knowing the team stinks, but you want to have a good time. You're going to have a couple beers.
Yeah.
You want to see some good Justin Fields highlights. You want to see Roquan be a star.
Mhm.
And you want to boo Matt Nagy. So
Yeah.
that's just
Dude, there's nothing worse than being there, though, and watching the opposing team gain, 7 yards on the ground, 9 yards on the ground. Like, walking
Yeah.
out of there and, dude, they just – because then you're in, these 45-second to minute 15 spurts of just getting mad. Being
Yeah.
all
Can
right,
I-
let's get a stop here. Like, fuck!
Can I tell you something else? Made me go, what the fuck are they doing? Tevin Jenkins, that guy.
Yeah.
he's playing this week, right?
Why'd you say his name?
no, he's not.
He's not, but he's they have
This
3
21-day window.
right, 3 weeks to put him. But it's if those back problems are chronic,
Yeah.
Yeah, I want zero pain.
Yeah.
I don't want
right, what do you?
you know
doing?
what? If there's a week and there's one day where he got out of bed and he's like, you know what? When I got out of bed, I felt something. It didn't
Yeah.
even feel bad. I don't care.
I don't care.
That's
if he,
something.
I want zero.
Right, if he gets out of the car after an hour drive up to Lake Forest, I want it shut it down. Go get a
Yes.
massage and shut it the fuck down.
Yes.
And just get ready for next year because this year is pointless. So just why are you doing that? Don't put on shoulder pads.
Hey, let's go one step forward. I'm ready to just write off Tevin Jenkins now. I don't know
His whole career.
Because here's why. I'll be bold. I'll be on the front lines of this. I don't want to have this conversation 2 years from now. We're like, yo, what?
You think he's Gabe Karimi?
If he plays 12 games, if he gives us 12 starts, we might be in a good. It's like that's such emotional baggage as a fan to be walking around and looking at your team, being like, all right, well, hopefully this guy.
Yes.
I
As a Patriots fan or anybody who's been a fan of a successful organization in the NFL, been like, yeah, well, we got lucky that year because that guy and this guy and that.
I can't do that just because I loved his quotes and I love his face with the glasses, and it's just this guy is just a 330-pound, the meanest. It's like Revenge of the Nerds, and I want to root for that guy so badly. He likes hurting people. I fucking love that guy. I just want to root for him next year when he's healthy.
Yeah.
I don't want to put this thing where I gotta write this guy off. I've been looking forward to liking this guy.
Now, as much as I just bum rapped Nagy and the organization there, I would hope that they have enough foresight to be that way too. Right? You would hope injury-wise, like to throw a guy on the field with a bad back would be the most reckless thing you could possibly do.
But this is the problem when you have like a lame duck coach fighting for his life.
And front office.
And front office.
But,
so it's
but
like,
I
hey, if he can get us and we can go on a little run here, they beat the Ravens. Ed likes that, says they got value and a good chance. So they beat the Ravens a lot.
195?
I don't disagree with you, but I'm just saying they beat the Lions, they beat the Ravens and Lions back to back.
They're back on the graphic.
They're back on the graphic, and it's
Yeah.
like, well, Jenkins can help us get to 10-7 or 9-8.
But even though you're still talking about a rookie tackle. So
I
you're
know.
taking a lot of stock in that.
I agree, but I'm
Like-
trying to get inside the head of Matt Nagy.
Yeah. Which is not a good head.
Right.
Yes, you're right. I just
Yeah.
something makes me want to and how about even this? Even if they do bring him back, they take him off IR, and he, the back surgery was a 4-month thing. Like, I understand there's value into playing games. If they want to play him in the January games, maybe the last 2 against the Vikings and the Giants, maybe. But like, I would not prefer not to really see him.
I wish they had like how baseball they're always like, oh, you played a simulated game today. I wish there was a simulated game for
Yeah.
football. Yeah, I don't know what that looks like if he just like is hitting a tackling
just send
dummy.
him down
Just
to
some
NAIA or something like that.
yeah.
Play a game for St. Thomas.
He's going to be one of those guys that wins the simulated Cy Young.
His name is Carl Pavano.
Carl Pavano. Carl Pavano is going to the Hall of Fame for the amount of simulated game Cy Young.
Didn't he
147 career simulated game starts
Yeah.
under his belt.
He got a lot. Didn't the Yankees give him like 150 million or something?
Something
crazy.
crazy,
Yeah.
Not that much, but a lot. He literally pitched, I think, 3 innings over 5 years.
Yeah, it was
He got a
bad.
fat contract. Okay, Bears plus 195. Let's get a boost. Why don't the boys throw a fucking boost together for old time's sake? Let's get a little boost here.
Let's boost that thing up to like plus 300.
No, I mean,
Well,
let's
like-
say a little Bears will win.
Bears win.
Parlay
Justin,
plus.
yeah,
Justin
little parlay
Fields.
plus.
Justin Fields total yards over 250.
I mean, let's get it. Hopefully, it was 183 in Pittsburgh. Big Cat walks into the suite. It's like, Dan, good to see you. He's like 183 and a half.
Yeah.
That was just passing yards, right?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, our
So,
last boost hit with
Yeah.
Fields rushing yards,
Yep.
the Steelers, and the Bulls.
yep.
So maybe we'll
That
something
was,
else.
I think that
Your
was the
eyes
last
peeled.
bet I
Yeah.
hit.
You want to do a little something, Ed?
I think we could do that.
I think we can
little
reach.
something,
Yeah,
something?
let's get
We can
let's
do
get
that.
Jack.
Something?
Let's get
You
Jack
think we could do it
McCarthy
for the
on.
boys?
I think so. I think so.
Okay. What else? Somebody wants to promote something to me right now,
I
and I'm going to
definitely
judge
do.
how good you are
I
promoting it to me.
absolutely do.
Yeah.
This is fucking sell me this pen. Sell it to me, you fuck.
What about Dave?
Selling you Roman
didn't-
swipes.
Yeah.
Let's
didn't-
go, Dave.
You didn't invite those girls over for brisket and Band of
No,
Brothers,
I mean,
but maybe
you
got-
understand why, though, right?
Of
Help
course.
my limp dick.
You need me to help your limp dick? Well, I can't do that, but Roman can.
How?
Why?
I mean, just what my preferred method for when I have limp dick is I just bust out a swipe.
There you go.
I have little stashes throughout like anywhere I might be. Like I got some in the office in case
gross.
I might need to use the office down
Okay.
the road. Maybe not.
You used the dog walk studio for that, I hope.
I mean, there's Roman swipes all.
I mean, I
hidden all
couldn't
throughout here, like a
imagine the
Easter
type
egg
of
hunt.
woman you'd bring back here and how that would
Anyways.
transpire.
Anyways.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't want to have erectile dysfunction, and I want to
And you
last
don't-
longer in bed.
Right.
So I'll
You-
just bust out one of those swipes.
Yep.
Like Carl, there's one under the rug right on your seat right now. But I'm not telling you where the rest of them are because I don't want you to throw them out or do anything else with them or
They-
steal them to use.
Right. And he might do that because they are clinically proven.
Clinically proven.
They are effective, easy to use,
effective,
fast
easy to use.
acting, don't require prescription,
Fast acting don't require prescription.
and they're discreet. So you can hide
That's
them anywhere.
exactly. That's
Yeah.
why you guys didn't even know that this entire office is just littered.
Covered with them. Yep.
With
So if you go to
Roman swipes.
getroman.com/redline, you get your first month of swipes for just $5 when you choose a monthly plan. And I say this all the time. They're generous with what they deem a month's worth of sex. So get on that. Again, it's getroman.com/redline for $5 when you choose your first monthly plan.
Those swipes.
Swipes.
You know how, like, if you're working at if you work at a law firm, they're like, are you a lawyer? Do you know the law? Or if you're a doctor and you go to the hospital, they're like, you have to have the skill set to work in the hospital, nurse, even the administration side, chart keeping, organizational. If you work at Roman, if I'm like a marketing guy, or I'm like, I go into Roman HQ, do you have to be like, is there like a horny population? Is there like a horny, you get in there, they're like, go home. Is it like do you think they're like encouraging a horny, sex-driven?
I think they're
long as
just
it's safe.
implying the best scientist money can buy. I think that's what they're doing. And if
Yeah.
those guys happen to be horny, then so be it.
Sounds like a great place to work.
I think so.
I think so. Roman.com.
Like if you were walking in the elevator, Ed, you looked a guy in the eyes,
Get
you're like,
Roman.
I trust how much sex this guy wants to have when he gets home from work.
You gotta try the product.
Mm-hmm.
Roman swipes. What else?
Big one for the Hawks tonight. Huge.
Huge.
Monster game. And this is like, people are like, oh, Chief, blah, blah, blah. It's November. Yeah. Like, they're running out of time. The clock is fucking ticking. And they have this 4-game stretch. I know I've talked about it other places before. It's Seattle tonight. They need to win that game. They are underdogs per our app. They're plus 120 money line. I've already hit it. I've already hammered it. And
Responsibly, of course.
responsibly, but I do think they're the better team. They should win this game. And then they got this Western Canada swing where they have Edmonton, Calgary, and Vancouver. Vancouver's an absolute fucking mess. They're probably going to fire their GM. He might be fired like by the time this podcast airs. They're having a meeting today. Jim Benning, they've been rebuilding for a decade. They stink. And so they got to win that one. And then if they can get a split out of Edmonton and Calgary, who are two pretty good teams, then they're right back. Like, they're on the graphic. And like, there's a stat. Like, if you're in a playoff position on American Thanksgiving, then you make the playoffs 80% of the time. So like this 4-game stretch to get back into the like legitimately into the mix is so critical, because it's like, if you go 1-3 in this stretch, the season is literally over. Like, you just can't dig out of it. Like, you might be able to keep clawing, inching back if you go 3-1. 1-3 is like a for real death sentence. So it's like, I'm nervous. What are you grinning at? Why is this so funny to you?
No,
Dude, hockey started like fucking yesterday, and we're already talking
Well,
about...
they started 0-11.
No, that's not what I'm laughing at.
What?
I always, for some reason, I just laugh at you saying American Thanksgiving.
I know. That's because there is the Canadian one.
Yeah, I don't know.
Fair.
There's just
fair.
something that always makes me giggle. American
So
Thanksgiving.
when I read that stat, it's usually said by people who are from Canada, and theirs is like October 13th usually, like around that time. So it's just, but yeah, for everybody who's definitely listening to this podcast who's not in Canada, just regular Thanksgiving.
It always just makes me laugh. No,
Fair.
but I agree with everything you say.
Yeah.
Fucking massive game tonight, massive stretch.
Huge, and it's like they are playing well, and that's the thing. Like, it's like, if they had played this well from the beginning of the season, we wouldn't, like, I don't know where they'd be, but they wouldn't be like, oh my god, if they don't win this game tonight, the season's fucking over. And that is kind of the situation. So I think everybody knows it. Everybody's talking about it. And I do think there is value, actually, if you play well on a road trip where all the guys can kind of come together. They can go out to dinner together. Like, this is a group that was in utter chaos in October for a million different reasons. And now it's like they're playing well. You go on a road trip at the right time, kind of galvanizes everybody, gets everybody like feeling good about each other, about the team. But you got to keep winning on this little streak here, on this road trip. And then who knows? Then you slingshot into December, and all of a sudden, like, things, like you're kind of where you thought they were going to be at the beginning of the year, which is right, mediocre, middle of the pack, wild card type team. But it has to happen now. It's like, it's now or never. And it's nice to see all the comments about how much everybody loves Derek King. Strome's playing better. They're going to get healthier. I do think that they should call up this Reichel. I don't think they will anytime soon. I do think, like, he makes them better. I just think he makes them better, and that allows them to slot everybody else properly. Put Hagel on the third line. You get Borgstrom, on the third line, or somebody else on the third line, and like, you're really going to be able to cook and have a really good top nine. But it's going to be, I don't think they'll do it until January, but I wish they would do it now. But that's Dave's favorite player.
It's my favorite player. It's going to be a goddamn shame when
you turn him into a baseball player.
Yeah, and he just leaves the Blackhawks.
Are ticket prices still low?
I
feel like public perception is starting to like shit. Like, I feel like by the end of the season, it'll be like, there's a little moment there where I thought it wasn't cool to be a Blackhawks fan.
Absolutely.
Right.
I do think that having everybody get shit canned, including Colleton, just really kind of press reset on the whole thing. So everybody that was a problem is out, and then everybody that Carlton was not popular. He was not popular with the fan base. I would say mixed reviews among the players themselves, to be generous. And now it's like it's a reset button, and everybody's like, fine. All those guys that we've been complaining about forever are gone. Carlton was the last piece of that. He's fucking out of here. And it's like, poof, the team started playing better. They're more likable. They look like they're having fun. And like Derek King, that guy, he just seems like the right guy for the moment. Like he's got the funny comments in the media. Guys are playing loose. They're busting his balls. He's busting balls. Like, and you see these comments where it's like Patrick Kane, who was really like a pretty good supporter, I'd say a good soldier for Carlton. He's like, yeah, everybody, he played almost 1,000 games in the league. Carlton played like 2. And he has everybody's respect. And like, Brian Knight's put together this thing like, Riley Stillman, you want to play for a guy like that. He's open. He's honest. He's going to call a spade a spade. As a player, that's all you can ask for. We want to play our hearts out for him. 1,000%. Okay. Where it's like you had a guy like Strome.
He's interim, right?
He's interim.
So
Yeah.
is there any chance that they pull the tag off, or like
I don't
gotta wait a month or so, see how?
I don't think they'll remove the tag this year at all. If they make the playoffs, that might be a conversation they want to have. But I think it is tied to Davidson. Like if they rip the tag off of Davidson, then he might rip the tag off of King. But I think they're going to take their time on finding the GM. I do think Davidson's going to be a candidate from what I've been told. Like he'll be in the mix, but they're going to interview other people. Pretty sure Danny Wirtz is the guy actually conducting the search. And they might go where they hire a guy, president of hockey ops. So then that guy ends up coming in, hiring the GM. And then the GM will have to decide about King. But obviously, like, he's having success and the players like him. And they're playing more free and more instinct-based. And it looks like a much better team. So tonight is a big one. And then that Canada's trip. So if they can go, 3-1 or 2-1-1, like, that's very, very good. Like, 2-1-1 is fine. Like, if they just go, go 2-1-1
In the next 4?
In the next 4.
Well, fuck that. Take the Kraken out. We need 2 points.
That has to be
go
one.
2-1.
They have. Well, yeah.
After that,
Sure.
in my opinion.
Yeah, you have to beat the Kraken, and you have to beat Vancouver. Like those teams, their Hawks are better than them. Like they are not in a position where they can lay an egg against a team that they should beat. Can't do that the rest of the whole year because you started 0-11. So that's kind of where it is. But tonight, late start, 9 local start. So I'll be up until midnight. I'll do the spaces afterwards, and we'll go from there. But it's going to be a critical trip here, and then I'll just be depressed on Thanksgiving and probably take it out on people. But that's where we are.
American Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
The American version.
Make sure people know that. Yes.
Gravy's aside. Bulls also Blazers tonight 9:00. Bulls. So
Yeah, but they're
West Coast swing.
everything is gravy for them now, I would say.
Shaq just said they can win it all.
He did.
Shaq.
Noted super intelligent guy, Shaq.
Shaq's an intelligent
noted
guy.
multi-NBA champion.
Yes, but
Shaquille O'Neal.
I think if you look back through Shaq, Shaq makes comments, right? Like it's just
he makes comments,
right? But it's like I don't think anyone's charting how accurate his. Did that make you feel better about the Bulls?
I thought. I mean, obviously he has infinitely better basketball acumen than anybody in this room.
Of
so
course.
maybe a little bit.
I was more perked up by what J.J. Redick said.
What did
he
J.J.
say?
Redick
That
say?
DeMar DeRozan should be third in the MVP right now behind Steph and KD. Now that got me going. And what got me going even more was that Zach LaVine retweeted that.
I think they love each other.
They look like it
They
on the
should.
court.
Yeah.
Do you guys fancy yourselves as men who can judge body language pretty well?
Yes.
I think that that's
Do
safe
you,
to say.
Dave?
Not
Yeah, I would say so.
particularly.
I think so. And just by watching them on the court, I don't think there's any issue with any ego or whose team this is or anything like that. They really do look like they're I mean, especially for LaVine because this is the first time he's ever won in his NBA career.
They said it was the first time he's ever had a 4-game winning streak.
Ever.
Fucking pro sports, man, where it's like, dude, these guys, all they care about is winning. It's like, it's just crazy that's we're I think everyone's surprised.
Yeah, I shouldn't have taken a shot at Shaq's intelligence. I think he just lets comments fly.
Yeah,
I don't
he
know
does.
how. So that was unfair of me. But
no one's coming at you. Don't worry.
well, it's also just not accurate because I really like Shaq and I think he's great on that TNT show.
That's like Do the NBA as everybody
But Shaq
knows?
lets it fly. And,
That's
Yeah,
a
right.
fucking
Exactly. He
awesome.
does let it fly. Yeah.
Awesome
Yeah.
pre and post.
and if you talk enough in your life, you're gonna say some dumb shit.
Yeah.
But we know that by now. I say dumb shit all the time.
Exactly.
Right.
Shaq's hustling printers right now. Have anybody seen that infomercial? Where's Shaq's like,
Oh, there's nothing that
Shaq's
you
like,
won't
"Do you
do.
have a home
Dude, he does
office?"
those general commercials.
He's
How
like
much
the
you
new
think they paid him for that?
Ditka. He's the new Ditka. Remember Ditka used to like he had his
Everything.
own salsa. He
Did
had
you-
everything.
Did
Are you working
see-
from home?
Kick-ass red wine.
Did you see that the Staples Center is being renamed as a Crypto.com
Yeah.
arena?
I did not.
Like the largest deal ever.
Who's
It's crazy.
It's called the crypto what?
The crypto.
Crypto.com arena.
Yeah.
Am I the only one that
No,
for
don't-
my
no, I
whole
don't
lifetime didn't realize that Staples was the store?
Yes.
What did you
are
think?
the only one.
Yeah, I think you are, man.
I really did.
You
I don't
thought
think
it
I'm the
was
only one because I've talked to some people about this before. But it took me forever. Like as a kid, I just always took Staples. Like, oh, Staples.
Did you think the United Center was just like a nice name for
That's
the United
that's a
Center?
lot clearer, I think.
I
think so.
don't.
I don't.
I don't think it's clear at all.
I know there are other people out there. I acknowledge it wasn't.
I mean, there's 7
intelligent.
billion people on the planet, so you're probably right that there are other people out there.
Staples.
Yeah.
You like Staples?
The store?
Yeah.
I used to. I still am like a big notebook guy, where I like write notes down and like when we're
So
doing
you're
our
a Staples guy by default.
yeah. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I guess I probably am. And Staples, Office Max, I get down with both of those.
Sharp.
Kind of
Sharper
sad. I'm
image.
gonna miss Staples.
Sharp. Yeah, they don't have a lot of notebooks, but yeah.
Poor Staples. Kids probably get all their erasers and shit off Amazon.
I don't know if anybody go to a Staples with the corporate expense account. So you'd be on like consulting projects. You'd be in Bloomington, or you'd be in Minneapolis, or you'd be somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd get to the conference room at the client. They'd be like, you know what we need? We need highlighters. We need a dry erase. Hey, Carl, go expense. And I'd get a list from like the project manager and the fucking managing director and the people that were there. And then you'd just be walking around Staples buying printers. Hey, I need a lamp for this conference room. I don't want to be under the fluorescence. Go get a couple of lamps. Oh, it'd be like it's like school supply shopping, but you're a 26-year-old consultant trying to make a bunch of guys in their mid-40s happy with their corporate work environment. Staples. So that's my personal. I enjoy Staples. I've had good shopping sprees in Staples.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate that.
Bluetooth printing capability is
Now,
important.
did you know that the Staples Center in Los Angeles was the arena?
That's
that
why
the-
we went to that Staples, because there was an Office Max across. And the guy was, there's no Office Max arena, but there's a Staples Center.
Staples Center.
Ed, you're a big fucking banana head. You know that?
That's okay.
That is okay. That is absolutely okay. It
All
is
right, we
okay.
need to,
I would
last
say
thing on
I'm a
my mind,
banana
I
head.
would like to get a scoreboard in our office.
You said that a long time ago. It never happened.
The scoreboard now is going to keep track of not just Chief and Danny's hooks game piece of paper. I think is the most relentless piece of loose leaf in the history.
Well, we've already lost one, but we are going to get either a chalkboard or a dry erase board and like make it more official. As long as Ed promises not to just erase it, like he threw away our original score.
Like
sheet.
you two guys strike me as guys that just would like lose homework in pieces of paper relentlessly as kids, and then for whatever reason, the two of you have come together, and that fucking piece of paper that keeps score of your hooks game is like.
Yeah. Well, that is our second one because Ed ruined the other one. But yeah,
Why
like,
would you do that, Ed?
Yeah.
Well, when Portnoy calls you and is like, "Hey, I have information about the newest gambling promo that you guys got to promote. This is the biggest promo we've ever done. Make sure you have all the information." I'm gonna grab the first piece of paper I see. So I apologize, but that was why I.
Can I
grabbed
tell
it.
you something?
What?
He was up by like 40, so I don't really care that you threw that one away. But I appreciate the apology,
I care.
anyways.
I'd like score on that. I also want to score some rolling score of like every time two of us wear a matching sweatshirt. Like there's a
Happens
point,
often.
and then we should have a point system, and then like the guy with the most matching sweatshirt points at the end of the year gets a prize or something.
I've been getting a lot of flack, I would say, in my life about my wardrobe, and it's just
That's
like,
very unfair if you ask me.
I would agree. I'm sorry for just trying to constantly be promoting the merch that we wear or that we have, and I'm wearing the Mission from God
It's a
Christmas
work
sweater.
uniform.
Yeah, I think it's, and I like, why would I buy clothes if I can get them for free?
I mean, you're not going to wear that to a wedding.
No, but I have I'm not gonna go out and I used to have to go to Banana Republic and all these places that have clothes to wear for work and for going out. Now I just feel like old. Like I don't care about looking great when I go to the bar. I'm pretty content with how I am and how I look. Well, I wouldn't say content because I'm pretty much disgusted with how I look, but I've accepted it.
I wasn't going to be the one to say it.
Yeah, I've accepted
But
it.
you took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah.
If we're being honest, your looks have become a problem.
How so?
I'm joking.
Oh.
It's from Almost Famous.
Yeah, but that was the opposite. That's why I didn't follow because he was too good looking.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's making that complaint about me.
That is true.
Right. So, but yeah, so I think it's fine. I think wearing matching sweatshirts is fine, and wearing our clothes is great.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
I mean, I love our hoodies. I really do like our hoodies.
Go to the Barstool
Nevertheless,
Sports store, check those hoodies out. Get maybe a present for a
there
loved
has
one.
been a lot of
Special
the
time of year.
Foul Boy Carhartt hoodies rolling in my tweets and DMs and emails and text messages, all that.
I'm so sad that I didn't get one.
I'm sad too. All I need to do is see that hoodie one time in public, even if it's at a Sox game, which is where I most likely would see it. Like, I just need to see it once. That's it. Once. I see all our other shit like constantly.
Tom's wearing it right now.
No, I know, but that doesn't count. I'm talking about outside
In the
these
wild.
walls.
In the wild.
Like
Yeah.
going to Starbucks, getting coffee.
What if you saw just a really hot girl walking down the street wearing a Foul Little Boy one?
I would 1 billion.
My boyfriend gave this to me,
Will
but now that I met
1
you,
billion
Dave.
% approach that girl.
Dave, I think that next year, whenever the White Sox have a blackout game, those things are going to be everywhere. Everywhere. Like, it's going to be like a staple at
Because it was that.
it was that
I wonder how many.
viral of a
You got to know how many bets it got first.
Yeah, no.
It's true.
I mean, I'm
It's
saying
not-
I've gotten
people couldn't buy it.
That's true.
about 3 to 4 dozen. As much as 50, I would say DMs. I would say 40 to 50 or so. Because I didn't make the bet because I stopped gambling at that point.
Responsibly.
I'm sure I could get one.
Not at this point, though. They're all gone.
I'll email them right now. I do need that though.
I talked to a guy at Carhartt this morning.
Did you? I need one.
Well, we'll get you one.
I appreciate that. So
Mhm.
today is
Thursday.
November 18th. Does anybody have any plans for this weekend?
I'm going hunting with you.
Are we going to kill anything?
I hope. I think so. That's the plan.
We'll get ducks for sure. So I got a mission for Carl, Eddie, Lance, Tom, Danny,
Accepted.
everybody who's not. I am anticipating are going to come back with so much meat that we're going to need a cooler for here. We could potentially come back with like hundreds of pounds of meat.
I mean,
Too much for 2 people.
I feel like Eddie's been waking up every day at this job waiting to be called upon to bring the ice in the cooler.
No, I'm not talking about. I'm talking about like an actual freezer.
My prediction is that you don't see anything.
No, we'll see. I mean, duck. That's
Okay, sorry. I thought you were just doing deer.
But if we do get a deer, that's
It's a lot of
a
meat.
300-pound animal.
Do you think you're going to get a deer?
That's a complete toss-up. Mate, probably not, I would guess, but we'll definitely have
I'm
duck and
worried.
geese.
My biggest fear for this whole hunting excursion with the deer is that we'll have a clear shot. I'll take a shot that is inaccurate and injures the deer, but doesn't kill it.
And you got to put it out of its misery.
Or it just runs away and like it has a more violent death to like a coyote because it can't run the right way.
You guys are going to get there, and they're like, yeah,
I'm
so
very
we're
scared about
hunting
that.
you guys.
What if that would be kind of funny, actually?
It's like, White Sox Dave, take your clothes off. We're going to run into this enclosure.
My dad, I talked to my dad the other day because it was his birthday, and he was like, I'm a little worried about having you with White Sox Dave and you end up getting Dick Cheney'd by White Sox Dave.
It's my dad. So I told my dad. My dad wanted me to come home this weekend. And I said no. I'm going hunting. He's like, what do you mean you're going hunting? And this is how my dad ends. I would say 90% of conversations with me, but this one was way more emphatic. He always ends every conversation. So I'll be like, hey, I'm going to the White Sox game. He goes, all right, don't do anything stupid. This and it's like serious, but he says it in a little joking manner.
Yeah.
This time it's like, please don't do anything stupid.
That sounds
Like he was dead serious.
My mom always make good choices. Make good choices.
Well, this goes beyond that. This goes me doing something stupid, which
Right.
I have a tendency to do.
That is true.
So, like,
All right. Well, we're gonna practice gun safety and hopefully just get some animals.
I'm nervous.
I'm a little nervous
I'm
too.
a little
The the closer it gets, the more scared I get.
I'm a little nervous. Not about like the guns and all that. Like I've shot guns before, but I'm nervous about killing an animal. I'm a total pussy, but I'm excited at the same time. I'm excited.
It's going to be hilarious when Dave empties his bladder for the first time in the wilderness and the people around him aren't familiar with the fact that Dave can piss for like 4 minutes straight. I can just see you sitting in a deer stand, holding it in all day, and just being like, you know what, I got to let one go. Mark
I don't know
territory.
if you can even do that.
Can you?
Speaking of that,
You
I
can
got
kill
to
these
do
animals, I'm
that
sure
right
you
now.
But that would probably
Go ahead,
leave a
Chief.
scent. And
By all means. No one's holding you back from it.
so with the hunting thing, what I don't like about it is I don't think I'm going to be able to dip. That's a problem. Because these deer
Yeah, I
have,
know,
like
the scents and all that stuff, right, no,
So you're not
obscenely-
supposed to shower.
Yeah, well, there's like
Well,
sprays and
yeah.
stuff now. But like old school, you don't shower.
It wouldn't be a problem for him, you said, Tom?
I shower more than anybody you know. In fact, these guys have yelled at me for showering.
That's bold proclamations. like you know for certain that you shower more than anybody that
In this room,
anybody
100%,
knows.
I shower 2-3 times a day.
I mean, he eats egg. He gets up, makes half a dozen eggs,
This
takes
is-
a
this
shower, lays down in it.
I mean, if you
Cholesterol is just through the roof.
no, I go egg white omelet, so that's 5 eggs, and that's not a big meal.
What do you do with the yolks?
I'll leave one or two in, and then I'll get rid of the
I'm a
rest.
big yolk guy. I
love
like
yolk, yeah.
The older I get, the more appreciation I have for
I
yolk.
I typically love yolk, but in order to control cholesterol levels, I'll go yolkless. Then two strips of bacon, just chop them up, and I'll do that like twice a day. Easiest meals ever. Just make
do you
a
like
little
thick
omelet.
or thin bacon, Dave?
Thick?
Thicker the better, or do you have a point where you're like too thick?
Well, I mean, for like
I'm not serving
breakfast
you a
bacon,
steak. I'm not serving you a fucking ribeye here, but
breakfast bacon. I mean, you can do like pork bellies, basically bacon. Those are like chunks,
Maplewood glazed or Tom, what do you like? A little fucking.
That is
Eddie,
why-
Eddie, where do you stand on bacon?
Bacon's good.
Bacon or sausage links?
Bacon. I don't like the super fat sausage links.
Yeah, I
like
know
them
what you're talking
thin.
about.
Yeah,
Like
and I feel
patties?
like
Like a smaller sausage.
I feel like a lot of places have gone the fatter route in recent years.
I'd rather have 4 small ones than 2 big ones.
Agreed. Yes. Like give me the old school
The little porkies.
hot lunch. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Like
Oh, okay, yes. That flavor fucking hits. The texture is good on those too. I could eat those at room temperature. Yeah, I could.
Yeah.
I've been on a sausage resurgence. I know I wrote that blog about the bacon, egg, and cheese versus bacon, egg, and sausage.
Yep.
And I just think breakfast sausage in particular, is an overlooked part of the sausage game. And on the subject of which, I got a great trick here. This was passed down to me. Dave, you'll like this. Chili. You're browning some ground beef for your chili. You want to add a little spice, a little kick without getting crazy. Throw in a little bit of Jimmy Dean.
Oh, that's not a trick. That's how I cook my fucking.
Really?
What a revolutionary idea.
I
do
go.
that?
So I have chili in my fridge as we speak that I cooked up.
I just got
on
that tip
Saturday.
this year and just used it.
I go 1 pound of ground beef, extra lean, and then I'll go a roll of Jimmy Dean breakfast sausage. So a pound of each.
Yeah. I do
I'm
the same
giving
thing.
Dave no insights. I'm telling Dave to drop his back shoulder as he hits 45 home runs. I apologize, Dave. Last thing, Wheaton North versus Brother Rice this weekend.
Wheat North's supposed to be awesome.
Wheaton North beat Wheaton Warrenville South by 2, 10-8 in overtime, I think, or a close game.
Jack
don't know.
Lausch is
Thank
unbelievable.
you, Ed. I saw your tweet, and I just
Holy
want to say
shit.
thank you for tweeting about the Brother Rice quarterback.
I watched the whole game.
He did a spin move where like 2 Carmel guys ran into each other right in front of the end zone. Then he
Yeah.
walked in the end zone.
He's very good. He's very good. Maybe Notre Dame. You'll be happy with him, Chief. If
With
I don't know
who?
if he plans on playing baseball or what.
He's
but
baseball.
Oh, that kid. Yeah, he's baseball.
Supposed to
kid.
get drafted pretty high.
yeah. So we'll see.
He's a baseball kid, Chief says.
Yeah.
Dual sport athlete, going to play
Yeah.
football and baseball.
You know what the best part about it is, Carl? I think you'll say it too. Is I love that. I mean, what a huge game for the South Side with Mount Carmel, Brother Rice. Obviously, I love that Rita's just waiting in the wings.
Dude, Rita
I
goes up
love
to
that.
Rockford, Hononegah, and now they're playing. I don't want to even say who they have an easy path. Rita does.
It's certainly, but it's obviously they're not playing Carmel in the quarter. So, sure, I don't disagree, but at the same time, Rita's really good.
Dude, they were
Caleb
number
Brown,
one or
yeah.
two in the state rankings, and they probably would have more recognition locally. And listen, I don't give a fuck. We could be broadcasting this thing on prime time ABC right now. I'm still talking local high school football right now with that. Give me this moment.
Yeah, exactly.
I sincerely think that because St. Rita plays in the CCL White, they're removed from playing Loyola, Marist, Rice, Carmel, which gets all the media attention. So it's very easy for Rita to kind of like coast into the – because Rita's like, yeah, we play fucking Providence. Who else is in that? Fenwick.
I think they went 7-2.
Yeah. They're a good squad.
Yeah, and they lost on a fucking heartbreaker week 1 to Mount Carmel. Yeah, they're really – Caleb Brown's the real deal. I'll go to Ohio State, so.
Damn.
They
real
had
deal.
a
Dude, Carmel Rita just – and as a Brother Rice guy, I can say objectively.
they had a
Carmel
wide
Rita
receiver
hits
that transferred
so
to
different.
Oh,
That's the
yeah.
number one game of the year. Carmel
Oh, yeah.
Rita, number one game of the year.
They had a receiver Rita did that transfer to IMG this year. He was like a top overall recruit in the country, which would have been sick if they had him. Still,
Yeah.
but they don't.
So I don't know. It's going to be, we'll see how obviously semis comes first, but
Yeah, it's hard
Everyone-
not to look ahead to the state championship and be like, dude, we could play St. Rita for a state championship. But yeah, respect Wheaton North. They came from a great conference. Third conference champion was Batavia, the only team that defeated Wheaton North. And they played close. They lost in overtime or whatever. I have a good scouting report on Wheaton North, and I'll tell you why, Ed. You're going to like this. As you know, I went back and watched the Brother Rice Carmel game, and there were a group of high school kids sitting in front of us that weren't in the student section at Brother Rice, and it was like, well, what do these teenage boys want? Big teenage boys. It was the defense for, like, Wheaton North.
wow.
And
We
they
would do that.
fucking played on Friday. They're like, we're coming down to watch. So
Love
by
that.
the end of the game, my brother and I had been, like, chatting up these kids, and so, like, hey, what do you think of this and that? What, like, how's this? Who would you rather play? So it was, I mean, as lame as it sounded, it was so cool to sit there at the Wheaton North kids and, like, get their perspective on,
Yeah,
like, Lausch, we better contain him. I was like, yeah, all right.
good kids.
Great. It was, honestly, it was, like, heartwarming how, like, this is American football. Like, these fucking big teenage kids sitting in the stands watching two schools. They don't know any of these kids on the field. Like, they're just –
We did that. We would go down to the other schools. To
Oh
watch
yeah,
them.
a lot of people do it. They also are the only ones that had the luxury of doing it because they were the only Friday night game last week.
these
So-
Saturday games are killing me.
Yeah, I don't know why they're so hell bent on Saturdays for when the playoffs come. They like just push it all on the Saturday, but let's hope. Good luck to Rice. Good luck to St. Rita. Hopefully, we get a Rita Rice state
God, that'd be
championship.
awesome. And I should say congratulations to St. Patrick Shamrocks on their farthest advance in the history of the IHSA state playoffs, which still
Thank you.
befuddles me.
It's
with
crazy.
all the tough kids that come in and out of that school, with all, like, just how much football's been played there. And,
Yeah,
like,
it's
you
crazy.
guys have guys in the NFL. You guys have fucking, like,
The leading tackler in college football history,
Really?
Uh-huh.
Tim McGarrigle.
Tim McGargle.
Really?
could never get past Driscoll.
No, St. Pat's on the up. Congrats to them. Great season. I think it's only up from here, so it's good. It's great. Good things happening over there at Belmont and Austin.
And a good symbol of like how much better it is when the sports are good. Like, it's just
Totally.
so much better. Me and my high school buddies have been like blowing each other up the last couple of weeks about, like, who's going to the game, this and that. And it's not just this dumb shit. I know St. Pat's probably brought the whole fucking community together for
The game changer.
The third round.
The bar was packed at 2 p.m.
Dude, when
So Bears, please get there.
when Wheaton South was good, man, the entire fucking city would shut down on Friday nights. The entire city would be at those
Oh, I
games.
bet.
Yeah.
Awesome.
For Wheaton North, Wheaton South games, we would have at least 10,000 people there, to the point where it's like, why the fuck are we playing it not at Wheaton College?
Yeah.
Like Naperville North and Naperville Central play at North Central, and the entire stadium. For those games, there's probably 20,000 plus.
It's good. Yeah, it's an
awesome.
awesome environment.
Yeah.
And
It really
as
is.
I'm getting older, I'm turning back more to being like I'm embracing local high school athletics. Chicago's
that's great.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't even talked Maine South Marist this weekend. It's going to be great, too.
Jesus Christ, dude.
And then the winner of that game is probably going to play Loyola. All due respect to Lockport. Maybe I don't know. I don't know much
Lockport's
about
supposed to be
Lockport.
awesome. Yeah, I got a buddy who coaches at Lockport.
Did you hear Loyola Lincoln Way East was 3-0?
Crazy. They said they won by 3. I was like, oh, all right. What did they win? Like 35, 30, whatever.
What's East
Like,
St.
no,
Louis
it's
doing?
3. They
35?
won 3-0.
Yeah, it's a great playoff this year. So we'll see what happens, and I'm sure we'll talk a little Tuesday about the next week's games, the state championship
yeah,
games.
it's exciting stuff. We'll be back for Thanksgiving. Go subscribe to all our stuff. The YouTube page, obviously Dog Walk.
One more quick programming note. The Spit and Chicklets Cup is going to be an NHL All-Star game in Vegas this year. So we did it in Dave was at the one in Detroit. It's going to fill up quick. So if you're a Chicago Stoolie hockey guy, want to be in that, I'll be there. It's going to be a hell of a weekend. So everybody's going to be in Vegas again, the 3rd and the 4th of February. Be on the lookout for signups because it's going to go very fast. I'd love to have some Red Line guys, Chicago guys at that tournament as well. So that's it.
Love it.
And one final note, Wish Fest. If you're
What are you,
White
jerking
Sox
off Papa
fan,
Smurf over there? Remember Ronick yelling at Dave with the hockey gloves?
Yes.
I had the blue gloves on.
Yeah.
I couldn't move after that either. Fuck, I hate doing physical shit.
All right, Vegas, sorry.
Wish Fest.
Wish Fest, December 3rd. If you are a White Sox fan, chances are you're from somewhere south side, south suburbs. You're a Rita, Rice, Carmel, whatever guy. You know what Wish Fest is. You will probably be at Wish Fest. It's coming up. Mark Roberge of a Revolution, OAR. OAR will be back. Make sure you get tickets to this. There's about 1,000 tickets left. It is my favorite event of the winter. It's all you can eat and drink. 100% of the proceeds of alcohol sales, ticket sales, merch sales, everything goes to cancer benefits. It's a complete and total shit show. It's a great cause. It's outstanding music. Be there. If you're a Cubs fan, listen to this. Go back to everything I just said. You might not know it because you're probably from west suburbs, north suburbs. This is on the south side. It's at Bourbon Street in Marionette Park. We're going to have a lot more information for you guys on it next week. But December 3rd, like I said, OAR is going to be there. A couple of really big, Randy Hauser, who's a big country act.
He's like the last mainstream country guy that I really enjoyed.
He's going to be there. A couple other guys.
It's a great set.
Foxtrot and the Get Down out of Philadelphia is going to be there. It's going to be an awesome, awesome, awesome night. And it's a cheap night. You can get a ticket. A gold ticket's like $150. That gives you
just a great cost.
1,000% access and free everything. Or you can get just the standard all-you-can-eat buffet drink tickets for like
Sister
$50.
Jean's going to be in the house.
So, yeah, we'll all be out there. More than likely, I'll be there. I don't know who else is coming. I'm sure Chief will. He usually goes.
Great event. Go to Wish Fest.
Wish Fest. We'll have more information on it next week.
No, I don't have anything to promote, but I'm craving golden tea. If you got a machine, send it my way. Till then, all gas.
No breaks.
And DJ, play that shit.